Well, good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Hoskins. I'm doing a little something different today. Notice that we've got some things going on in the background that are changing, and so over the next month or two, you'll see even more changes with where I record things here at the office. But we definitely did a remodel of the outside. You need to come and see that. As you can see, it's middle of December of 2023. One thing I wanted to do is I've got this really good friend over in Charlotte, and she does some really good introductory to chiropractic videos, and I wanted to review those with you. So if you'll bear with me as I get this up, we'll talk through it, and I'll let her talk, and then I'll talk over it and give you my take on what she says. Um, this one is titled Our Chiropractic Adjustments Safe," and her YouTube handle is at Join Dr Jen. Again, she's an amazing person. She's an amazing chiropractor. She does use my software. She does do the membership practice, which we support and promote. So she is, like I said, a dear friend. So let's listen to what she has to say.
Hi, Dr. Jen from Cairo here. Today I wanted to answer the question, are adjustments safe?
Let me just pause right there. When you do a Google search and you type in "is chiropractic" and leave it out, safe is usually one of the top five questions. So is chiropractic safe? One of the top five chiropractic questions asked on a Google search. Yeah, I should have clicked before I took a drink.
I hear from some people that they don't think that chiropractic care is safe, that it's dangerous, that it can hurt you, etc. Not true. Chiropractic care is extremely safe. It's one of the safest professions out there. A good way to determine risk and safety of something is to look at insurance rates.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about malpractice insurance rates.
Well, before we let her do that, I mean, that is the best way to look at liability for risk, is to look at what your malpractice or your um, professional liability coverage is. And that's something she's going to go into. But I mean, that's a third party, somebody who's interested in not paying out money, charging a fee to cover all of the loss that they've had by that profession. So let's listen to what she says about that.
For a general medical practitioner, like your doctor, you were going for a yearly checkup or something like that, they pay about, on average, $9,000 a year for malpractice insurance. While surgeons, again, that's a much more risky, everybody knows that, much more risky thing, they pay about $50,000 a year for malpractice insurance. So medical doctors run the gamut, and
And I've heard that in some hospitals in some districts of the United States that OBGYNs are paying $120,000 a year. That's $10,000 a month just in your malpractice.
between 9 or 10,000 to 50,000 to potentially even more, depending on the type of surgeon you are. Well, let's compare that. I'll tell you right now what I pay every single year for my chiropractic malpractice insurance. And that is,
Hold on. Guess. Can you guess? Can you guess what a chiropractic who just does chiropractic, doesn't do therapies, doesn't do nutrition, doesn't do pillows, potions, lotions, notions? Um, because she doesn't. So what do you think that is? I'll give you a moment here to think about it.
is $895.
Whoa, because mine's 850. So this is she's paying a little bit more than me. No, I think it went up this year to 895 for what we do.
So compare my $895 a year to $9,000 a year to $10,000, $50,000 a year. It's actually safer to go to a chiropractor than it is to go to your general practitioner.
Yeah, that's considered for the same complaint. So if you go to your if a general practitioner only focused on spinal issues, compared to chiropractors who only focus on spine and brain issues, um, what we do is extremely safe. What we do is extremely safe. I think she's going to go into it in just a second, but I'm got one more point to make on that.
So Yes, adjustments are safe. If they weren't safe, chiropractic would not be around as a profession.
Yeah, in 1940s, the AMA started a council on quackery, and they spent even in 1940, 50, and 60 money. They spent millions of dollars to train doctors, medical doctors, that chiropractors were occult, that we were from the dark side, that we were dangerous, that we were had no physiological, anatomical, scientific background, that we were quacks, and that we needed to be eliminated. In 1974, well, in the 70s, Dr. Chester Wilkes from Chicago took the AMA, the entire organization, to federal court for antitrust, trying to quell the profession. And through that whole series, it finally was determined in federal court that the AMA had violated the RICO Act, that they had actually, um, uh, let me get her off of this.
They're very
There you
safe.
go. That's a little bit better for her. They actually found them guilty of racketeering and guilty of antitrust, and they were forced to rescind all of that. Unfortunately, they'd spent pennies on the dollar on a very short period of time to rescind what they did, but they never were able to get that generation of medical doctors and the ones after them, because that generation taught the next generation about the truth of chiropractic. Fortunately, today I have the opportunity to work with medical doctors and osteopaths at a community clinic, and they are receptive to chiropractic. They're grateful that I'm there. They understand that I do something totally different from them, that what I do is valuable to the client and it's valuable to the organization, and they welcome me with open arms. And the nurses love me. And they some of them come to me for care, even, and some of the providers even come to me for care. So the whole thing is changing because they see how valuable we are, but they're also not getting that um, false rhetoric that the AIM may come up with in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, because those generations of medical doctors and providers have faded away. And so, yeah, we're getting much more attention, but we're also being utilized more, but our malpractice rates stay very low. And let's see if she covers the next point I want to make about that.
Safe, they're very gentle, and you're really, really missing out on a lot if you're not seeing a chiropractor regularly.
Amen.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one.
I love Dr. Jen. She's amazing. So her clinic is up there in Charlotte. Yeah, one of the other things is, the owner of one of the better chiropractic insurance companies that, in my opinion, we're talking about where this money goes to. And, with any business, you have an administrative cost. What does it cost to just stay in business? I have a cost of staying in business here. What is that? And it comes out to, for them, um, the cost for just having a chiropractor as a client is about $600, $700 a year. So where's that other hundred and some odd dollars going? Well, spread over all their clients, that covers that insurance company's cost to go and defend them at the board level um, against complaints from other chiropractors. So when you look at our liability, we're much, much, much more liable to be taken in front of the board for an advertising faux pas or some sort of silliness that somebody didn't like the colors on our sign, or whatever it is, some perceived slight, or maybe it's a legitimate claim. We made a mistake. In South Carolina, you have to clearly state that you're a chiropractor on all advertisements. You can't just say Dr. Hoskins will take care of um, your spinal subluxations. You can't do that. You have to put chiropractor or some sort of on the advertisement. It has to say chiropractor or DC. It has to be clearly delineated. Well, there's chiropractors that hire a sign company to put up billboards, and then the sign companies don't read the regulations, and it's incumbent upon the chiropractor to make sure that the signs are done right. And sometimes it just slips through because they've delegated it to somebody to do that. Well, that's a violation of the practice law, and So, that sometimes happens, and, you usually go take care of it. But, other times you do some silly things, and you can go to any state and look at their records, and you'll see every quarter or every month or every time that they meet, there's anywhere from 2 to 10 people that are having to defend their license, um, for some reason. And that's where that goes. So if you figure somebody's got, 10, 20,000 chiropractors around the United States that they're providing that kind of coverage for, and you spread that cost over all of them, and it's only a couple $100 a year. Yeah, we don't pose a huge risk to any company that covers us for liability. Now, when you add the non-chiropractic modalities into what we do, I'm not saying that chiropractors shouldn't use them. I'm just saying that physical therapy modalities are physical therapy. Chiropractors are licensed to use them in the office, and there are chiropractors that choose to do that, and that's fine. Um, I'm just labeling them as not chiropractic for the reason of this discussion. When you add those things to what you do in the office, your liability risk, your malpractice insurance goes through the roof comparatively. So I know that when I asked this company about that, just for information, they said it could quadruple, if not quintuple, 5 times um, the your liability. So from $800, $900 a month to $4,500 a month, $800 or $900 a year to $4,500 a year, because I've added e-stem or ultrasound or some other modality. Um, that's it adds a lot of liability, so that's figured in there too. So I want to thank Dr. Jen. She doesn't know I'm doing this. I'll send her a link and let her know that I'm reviewing uh, her videos. But she's something special. If you're up there, go by and say hi. I think she's on the north end, and look forward to doing more of these, because she's obviously she's really good. She's a friend, and she's covering topics that everybody's are asking. So you guys have a great time. We will see you later.